start with how I identify old work, unsold work. They need an overhaul, they need a complete rethink. So let me grab the worst. This painting has been freed from its frame once already. I'm not connecting with it. I ask myself questions, and the questions that I ask are there any elements on here that I really like? Very few. Are there things on here that I don't like? A lot. Those add up to make a rework. That's the worst case scenario. This was a painting. There are elements that I like, that I wanted to keep. I just wanted to adjust it. I just wanted to add a few things in, see if I could just make it say a little bit more. It's an incomplete sentence. That's how it felt to me. If I pick up this guy, this painting is finished to me. That's saying everything I think it wants to say. And I connect with lots of elements to it, and I have not, at this point in time, I have no urge to do anything to it. I'm just happy for him to hang on my wall. I'm going to share my thoughts on Aubergine. There was a Christmas exhibition coming up. I could put a submission of 3 paintings, and in my head, I fell into the trap of thinking, paint 3 paintings that can be very reasonably priced, not too big. Perhaps they'll appeal to the wider audience. I struggled and fought to get Aubergines out, and as soon as I got it down to the exhibition and it went on the wall, I knew how much I was so disappointed in it. Not only disappointed in the painting, but disappointed in myself for falling into that trap of thinking, what might people like? What might people buy? It came back, and the other day I just thought, I've just got to do something with it. I look at it and it disappoints me. It's not where I want to go. It's not what I want to say. And I tried too hard. It's an example of when I've tried too hard to get to an end result. A big old lesson learned. And so there's no harm in those lessons hanging in the cabin, just as gentle reminders. Don't do that again. Just paint what I connect with. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't actually matter. This painting then is in another place. In my head, I've ticked that. I'm happy. I really feel a connection to it, but I haven't actually properly finished. I have several of those paintings as well, the not properly finished off paintings. There's not much excitement in doing the last bits of finishing off, and I think that's why so many things I do just get left hanging in this state. That's my approach to old work. I hope that makes some sense. I'm going to just whiten up my whites. Good, just working flat on the table. This processed yellow is lovely as a glaze. So off the table and back on the wall. Yes, bring in some dark. The next thing I'll do is go in with something deeper. So I've spent an hour just trying to tidy up and sharpen up a bit. I just love the colours. That's another thing with some of those paintings that need a rework or an adjustment. Look at the colour. I think it must be nearly lunchtime. I've got brushes that I need to get down and wash. I don't have water in the cabin. I just use these empty yogurt pots and I bring water up. I have a bottle of water normally always up here. So it's not a problem to me, and I don't tend to do a lot of watery work. I have a very old canvas here. I'll turn the camera. And I've just put a ground down on that, just to keep myself moving around actually, not to spend too much time on one thing. Morning, another day. It's wet, it's gloomy, oh, and it's chilly. But this is the grey frame that I've talked about that was potentially for snake plant. This is one of the trio. You're not going to believe this, but I've actually been working a little bit on Sofa Studio. I have to be really, really careful. I mean, this is about the size, a little bit more than a sketchbook page. So it's just about doable down there. I've had a couple of busy days out and I get frustrated because I haven't been painting during the day, so I have to do something in the evening. I'm quite pleased with that direction. I also thought about digging out. I'll show you. I'm so glad I haven't parted with them because I want to use them. I'm going to use them for a bit of inspiration. Just these lovely bold marks, and again it's the limited colour palette, white, black, mixing to a pale grey, and I think that is, I don't know what I've done with my glasses this morning, oh they're here, I think that's a burnt umber. I'm hoping that they're going to empower me to stay abstract and to just think in my head, be bold, think shapes and something strong. I think that's what I need to keep. I could write that down somewhere, couldn't I? So this morning, I'm not saying he's finished, but he's definitely not finished actually. I worked also last night. I worked in Sketchbook. I just put some thumbnails down and started thinking about shape and just using limited colour palettes. Don't forget to reference when you're feeling like a change, or it goes in, so you can go in so many directions, and I'd encourage you, don't shelve it. Don't think, oh no, that's not what I do. Have a dabble, or whatever you feel like. There's no harm at all, and in fact, I think it's really good. I'm going to have a dabble in the abstract. I'm going to lean on my old sketchbooks for big, bold shapes. This is just too random for me. I want to calm it down, and it's back to that thing. I've got some chaos, but I want something to contrast. I want some calm. So that has given me a little bit of direction. I've had my fun. This has been completely intuitive, and this is coming in now, and I'm being more intentional about what I'm doing. It's a constant dance between intuition, intention, but it's also a really good idea to let them brew, to let your intuition layers brew, because what you might see in there today you couldn't see yesterday. It's very interesting, that, to me. Okay, so that's what I'm up to this morning. This is about as far as I've got this morning. We're moving, it's moving, I'm feeling good about that. Just coming up to lunch now. I don't know where this has come from, this weird and wacky one, but oh, it's such good fun. It's something different. I'm really enjoying myself with that. Lunch. a limited amount of time before I needed to be somewhere and thought I'd have a quick go with the gel plate. I'm using an oil pastel again, but what I've done here is I've gone over a copy paper print. So I'd already printed that image and I'm working on the top of it. I ink up the plate, and I think actually watching this, I can see there was just a bit too much ink on the plate. So it didn't seem to want to transfer very well, but I persisted, rubbing, and then, yes, there was something there. I'm quite heavy-handed with those wipes, and I got a little bit carried away. I could say to myself here, stop with it, but I didn't. I kept going in my true non-stoppable style. So I then go in with some white paint, yellow paint. I decide that suddenly I think it might be an idea to put down some little bit of edge. So I put newsprint around the edge. I'm just using real rough paper here. I'm not expecting anything amazing to come through. So here we go, lots of burnishing. Now I'm telling myself to allow 20 minutes. I don't actually think I had 20 minutes to give it to breathe. I push it aside and I just think, well, I've got time quickly on another piece of rough paper just to work a ground and see what happens. It's just seeing what happens. My white acrylic ink there has just about run out. I've got that on my shopping list. Pink, fluorescent, that's a real cheapy fluorescent paint. This is the cloth, trying to take back areas just to see how that will dry. When I go up to the cabin this morning, I'll see if that's passable as a ground before putting something on it. Here we go then, we're just getting ready now for the reveal. Oh, no, it doesn't look ready. More burnishing. And nearly there. Yes, I'm going to peel it up now. Again, the paper tore slightly because it wasn't a piece of thick paper, it was just rough paper from a sketchbook. Now, what am I doing here? Here, I decide with that damp cloth just to see if I can get a slightly different texture on the echinacea heads. Morning. I am so happy to get my primroses in. We call it faux spring when we have a bit of sunshine, but it's still really quite wintry. The plants, the colours just make you feel that spring is on its way. It's glorious. I've got options. I want to press on a little bit more with the trio. I took the crazy painting that I showed you, the canvas with the brown crazy marks that I'm so loving. I've taken it down to the house. I found a spot for it, and I'm hoping that as it's down there, I'll be looking at it and it will start to speak to me. I don't want to rush it. I just want it to percolate and see where it wants to go. I am so lucky. I feel so fortunate having such lovely subscribers. Beverly gave me the heads up on drawing onto a lamination sheet, laminating it, then cutting it for a stencil. So I'm going to have a go at that. She also suggested plastic divisions in your files would be a good material to make stencils, so I'll be having a go at that. And Teresa said seal the cutouts with heavy body gel medium first. Have I got heavy body gel medium? I have got regular gel gloss medium. This is a golden. So I'll see if I can pick up some heavy body gel medium. You let that dry and then you can reuse them. Top tips from Beverly and Teresa. Thank you so much. It's just the best. However unexciting it is, I'm going to make myself do a bit of finishing off. Hi everyone, I'm ending here this week. That is I'm just playing with that to see if I can make that into a front cover for a notebook. I worked on that gel plate paper with some Posca pens. I can't put off the laundry any longer, so I've got to do my ironing this morning. And we've just had a little flurry of snow. It's bitterly, so I might leave the cabin today. Have a lovely week. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and the comments, the advice. That I have got a lovely list brewing up of tips and suggestions. It's so lovely, and I'm very grateful, and I think you're all really kind and very generous with nice, lovely words. So thank you again, and have a great week. I will see you next Thursday. Bye for now.